While doing assignments on my artist, K Proetic, I had to do some research on Nas, being one of K Proetic's major influences. And I came across this concert, um, Nas being branded with the tuxedo and the bow tie. It looked really elegant, you know? And then he's performing with a symphony orchestra, which I thought was a nice mix up for hip hop. It's a nice blend of genres, if you will. So here he is, Nas, with this fancy tuxedo and glasses, and it was just something to see. So that's how I got turned on to the show. This entire performance was is Nas's 20th anniversary. He did an album 20 years ago called Illmatic, and they're celebrating the 20th anniversary with a performance, with a live with a band, with an orchestra and his band. But they're marketing this thing like this is Nas all grown up. You know what I mean? Grown man, 25, 20 years later, tux, real fancy shit. He looks like one of the guys from Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, the wise guys, the what do you call that? The Rat Pack. One of those guys, and it looks real Las Vegas. Nice step up from the tracksuit, sneaker, big gold chain Nas that we knew of back in the 90s. So he makes a connection with his audience really nicely. Their stage presence is really great. I even like well, I thought the stage plot was a little tight. The orchestra is there on the stage, and it just looked a little cramped. Nas is walking around just a small little space, but he does manage to make connection with his audience. There was a little bit of uh, he looked back at the band a little too much for me. It came off like he was maybe a little unsure, or he wanted to just double check and make sure he was in sync with the band. Could have been that, but it does look like it comes off as insecure when you're on stage and you're not making contact with your audience. Nas's stage presence was awesome. I mean, the brother was very confident on stage, very confident on stage. But that comes with the experience. We're talking about a 30-year veteran of rapping. And as soon as he came out, the audience was on their feet, and there was not a song that they did not sing with him. You know what I mean? So there was definitely a strong audience connection. Um, the appearance, the tuxedo with the sunshades is a nice touch. Making Nas come off very mature with his patent leather shoes. The whole look was very, very impressive. He looked very, very distinguished. My biggest takeaway from this performance is I don't think there was enough visuals. You got Nas on the stage, and you got the band. There was some familiar musicians in the band. You got Derek Hodge on bass, who is part of Robert Glasper's musical outfit, which is kind of cool to see Derek mixing it up with a hip hop artist. That was kind of nice. And then DJ Premier from back in the 90s, DJ Premier, the cut scratch DJ, that was nice to see. But Nas, I think he shortchanged himself without having big screens behind him that you could utilize pictures and old photos and old videos to help tell your story while you're on stage. And Nas didn't take advantage of that at all. And I think that could have been an error on their part. They could have really brought it home, the whole Nas experience. But once again, the cramped stage, that could have been an improvement. But Nas, I will say this, was extremely prepared for this show. You could tell he rehearsed his songs. There was no glitches. He knew his lines. He knew his parts. And he was just entertaining overall. He looked very confident on the stage. So that was good to see.